Shalom and blessings, warriors of Yahuah and the truth. We're going to be reading from the BYNV, Barashith, Genesis 22 and 23. And it came to be after these events that Yahuah tried Abraham and said to him, Abraham, and he said, Here I am. And he said, Take your son now, your only son, Yitzchak, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah, and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains which I command you. And Abraham rose early in the morning and saddled his donkey, and took 2 of his young men with him, and Yitzchak his son. And he split the wood for the burnt offering, and arose and went to the place which Yahuah had commanded him. And on the third yom, or third day, Abraham lifted his eyes and saw the place from a distance. So Abraham said to his young men, Stay here with the donkey while the boy and I go over there and worship and come back to you. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it on Yitzchak his son. And he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and the 2 of them went together. And Yitzchak spoke to Abraham his father and said, My father. And he said, Here I am, my son. And he said, See the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering? And Abraham said, My son, Yahuah will provide himself the lamb for a burnt offering. And the 2 of them went together, and they came to the place which Yahuah had commanded him, and Abraham built an altar there and placed the wood in order. And he bound Yitzchak his son and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched out his hand and took the knife to slay his son. But the messenger of Yahuah called to him from the Shamayim and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. And he said, Do not lay your hand on the boy, nor touch him. For now I know that you fear Yahuah, seeing you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me. And Abraham lifted his eyes and looked, and saw behind him a ram caught in a bush by its horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up for a burnt offering instead of his son. And Abraham called the name of the place Yahuah Yireh, as it is said to this yom, or this day, on the mountain, Yahuah provides. And the messenger of Yahuah called to Abraham a second time from the Shamayim and said, By myself I have sworn, declares Yahuah, because you have done this and have not withheld your son, your only son, that I shall certainly bless you, and I shall certainly increase your seed as the stars of the Shamayim and as the sand which is on the seashore, and let your seed possess the gate of their enemies. And in your seed all the nations of the Eretz shall be blessed, because you have obeyed my voice. Then Abraham returned to his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba. And Abraham dwelt at Beersheba. And it came to be after these events that it was reported to Abraham, saying, See, Milcah too has borne children to your brother Nachor. Uts his firstborn, and Buz his brother, and Kemuel the father of Aram, and Kesed, and Kazo, and Pildash, and Yidlaf, and Bethuel. And Bethuel brought forth Ribkah. These 8 Milcah bore to Nachor, Abraham's brother. And his concubine, whose name was Rumah, also bore Tabak, and Gakam, and Takash, and Ma'akah. 23. And Sarah lived 127 years. The years of the life of Sarah. And Sarah died in Kiriath Arba, that is, Hebron, in the land of Canaan, and Abraham came to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. Then Abraham rose up from beside his dead and spoke to the sons of Koth, saying, I am a foreigner and a sojourner among you. Give me property for a burial site among you, so that I bury my dead from my presence. And the sons of Koth answered Abraham, saying to him, Hear us, my master, you are a prince of Yahuah among us. Bury your dead in the choicest of our burial places. None of us withholds from you his burial site from burying your dead. So Abraham rose and bowed himself to the people of the land, the sons of Koth. And he spoke with them, saying, If it is your desire that I bury my dead from my presence, hear me, and approach Ephron, son of Sochar, to me, and let me have the cave of Machpelah, which he has, which is at the end of his field. Let him give it to me for the complete amount of silver as property for a burial site among you. And Ephron dwelt among the sons of Koth. And Ephron the Kittite answered Abraham in the hearing of the sons of Koth, all who entered at the gate of his city, saying, No, my master, listen to me. I shall give you the field and the cave that is in it. I shall give it to you in the presence of the sons of my people, and I shall give it to you. Bury your dead. And Abraham bowed himself down before the people of the land, and he spoke to Ephron in the hearing of the people of the land, saying, If only you would hear me, I shall give the amount of silver for the field. Take it from me, and let me bury my dead there. And Ephron answered Abraham, saying to him, My master, listen to me. The land is worth 400 shekels of silver. What is that between you and me? So bury your dead. And Abraham listened to Ephron, and Abraham weighed out the silver for Ephron, which he had named in the hearing of the sons of Koth 400 shekels of silver, currency of the merchants. Thus the field of Ephron, which was in Machpelah, which was before Mamre, the field and the cave which was in it, and all the trees that were in the field, which were within all the surrounding borders, were deeded to Abraham as a possession in the presence of the sons of Koth, before all who went in at the gate of his city. And after this, Abraham buried Sarah, his Asha, in the cave of the field of Machpelah, before Mamre, that is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. Thus the field and the cave that is in it were deeded to Abraham by the sons of Koth as property for a burial site. Next time we will be reading Barashith, Genesis 24. And that one is a longer one. So we'll just, next time we'll be reading just 24. Alright. And now it's time to praise Yahuah. Torah Rabba Abba Yahuah. Torah Rabba Abba Yahuah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hooah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hooah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, Ruach HaKodesh. Baruch haba Hashem Yahuah. Baruch haba Hashem Yahusha. Baruch haba Hashem Ruach HaKodesh. I love you all with an everlasting love, as our Abba Yahuah and the Shamayim loves each and every one of us. Shalom and blessings, warriors of Yahuah and the truth.